The title's not clickbait, and I wish it were, but it's true. A man has passed away, allegedly. I have to say allegedly, according because of a product sold by Vevor. And it's not the only lawsuit that's coming up. I don't know if it's actually been filed or it's about to be filed. There's a bunch of personal injury stuff coming up against Vevor. There are fraud, trademark infringement, fake review allegations. There's a bunch of stuff we need to talk about. Now, here's the way I found out about it. I did a video a while back exposing who Vevor was because they were exploding, becoming this huge company. And we like to talk about, hey, is this a company we can trust? Who's behind it? Blah, blah, blah. So we did a video on this, and it's got nearly 500,000 views. You can go check it out. But that video also got a group of lawyers to reach out to me, and I had a call with them earlier this week. And I'm not going to name names on the people. We're not going to expose the families. They're already going through enough as it is. I'm not trying to make their life any harder than it needs to be. I've had to reshoot this video a couple dozen times at this point because I keep screwing it up because I keep getting upset or emotional or whatnot. We're going to try and push through this time. But here's the deal. There was a guy who was using a product, brand new product, that he bought from Vevor, and it broke, and he died because of injuries related to that. There's several personal injury ones that are coming up, too many actually to get into. And then doing some research for this video, I found just a whole bunch of lawsuits regarding Vevor, recalls and copyright infringements and more personal injury kind of stuff. And then even there's a whole article over on the New York Post from last year talking about that there's a whistleblower talking about all the fake reviews that Vevor has been pushing online. Again, these are all allegations. They're going to figure this out in court and that kind of stuff. I'm not saying I know it personally. I'm just reporting the news from what we're seeing from other stuff. Because, of course, I don't want to get sued by Vevor. Of course, they'd have to they'd have to give an address to sue me. So maybe I should, because that's the thing. This is the thing why the lawyers contact me. They can't get a hold of Vevor. They're trying to sue them, but they can't pin down who the company is or where they are because it keeps moving around. This is the company that you're buying from. And I know there's some other YouTubers who have good relationships with Vevor. And brother, if you do, then I'm going to ask you right now, send me their contact information. Because I need to pass it over to these lawyers, because a man's died, people have been hurt, lots of people have been defrauded. You got to at some point step up and say, okay, let's. I mean, and if it's like a big corporation, there isn't a corporation out there that hasn't been sued. All right, so when somebody says, well, that company got sued, I'm like, yeah, that's business as usual. All right, people sue companies in the United States. That's what happens. All right, it doesn't matter how good a company you are, someone's going to sue you. I know one of the companies I ran, we got sued for discrimination, and if you know my family background and dynamics, you know what a joke that is. It's people are going to sue because they think they can get free money from it. But at some point, you start looking at it and you're like, okay, these are adding up a whole bunch. And my real issue is, and if it wasn't such an issue, why is the company hiding who they are? Because that's what's going on. The lawyers, and they have teams of researchers, they can't get a hold of the parent company of Vevor to actually serve them with the lawsuit. Here's what I'm going to ask right now. If you know anything about Vevor, you can email me at red@dentatools.com if you know their current, where they're filed and everything. Last I saw, they were, I think, in Grand Cayman. If you've been hurt, you know somebody who's been hurt, you can email me again. Again, it's red, like the color red, @dentatools.com. And I will forward your contact information over to the law group. They are looking in to see if there's other people, if this is a bigger issue than it already is. And it's a pretty big issue. And it's between that the copyright issues, and this is what we talked about before, was the company kept shifting, changing the names, basically they'd grow as much as they could, and then once enough lawsuits came in, they'd burn that company down, start another one, and they started with the same name. They just started Vevor again. Quiet phone, I wasn't talking to you. They'll just start it again, and under the same name with .inc, .llc, .llp, corporation. They'll file it, Canada and the U.S., Mexico. Doesn't matter. There's ways for them to jump around, and they've clearly mastered how to do this, how to jump around and hide who the people are behind the corporations as they're playing this kind of, shuffling kind of game. Anyway. So please feel free to reach out to me about that, or you can put it down in the comments. Don't put your contact information in the comments, okay? Anyway, it's not a fun, exciting video to do, but I do want to get the word out there. I was concerned before, which is why I did the video. And I said, again, they don't make anything. People keep calling them a manufacturer. They're not a manufacturer. There's no factories with Vevor on them, okay? They are a white box company. That means they go and they buy stuff from other companies, they slap their name on it, and then they sell it. This is what Sears used to do. There's a lot of companies that do that these days. There's different tiers of it. Like people talk about Harbor Freight because we talk about Harbor Freight in here. Harbor Freight doesn't have any factories, but they do have designers. They will actually go and design tools and then pay a factory to make them. So it's a slightly different kind of situation there. But the whole thing, it's really upsetting, and having to listen to these people. It's the same thing I dealt with listening to Snap-on. It's one of the reasons why you see me not being a big fan of Snap-on is because Snap-on has done so many terrible, evil things. Honestly, you see these movies and they talk about the evil corporations and it's kind of like that silly kind of villain. No, Snap-on really is like that. They've stolen routes from successful routes from their own franchisees. They sell routes that they know are bad. They scam veterans using their vet funding or loans to get them to buy into routes they know are going to fail. And then they just take everything back and just ruin the whole family. They know this. They know they do it. It's part of their business plan. And they've been sued multiple times. That's why I have no problem saying it, because there's already lawsuits that have been settled showing that they did it. And at this point, they don't even go to court anymore. They just pay people because they know that in the end, they make more money, and the company or the people are so destitute that, they can't really afford the lawyers that can actually hurt Snap-on. So Vevor is rising right up to that whole super evil, but in this case, a foreign-based company who has really no footprint in the U.S. Other than selling stuff here that they clearly know are substandard products. Now, I know a lot of you are going to blame Amazon for this, and I don't blame you for that. Amazon is kind of between a rock and a hard place. They are facing increased pressure from sites like Temu and Shein and all those other ones that they basically shovelware products. People make jokes about Wish from back in the day. I don't even know if Wish is still a thing. And you'd order your product of a Wish. Maybe I threw it away. I had a Snap-on knife the other day. I have a video coming out next week about it, and the knife it's a joke. It's like this big. But anyway, I don't know if there's really anything else to say about this. It's really a terrible situation, and I feel a terrible company. I feel that I already felt that they were shifty as all hell, and I already said, if you're going to buy from them, don't buy from them directly. Buy through Amazon, somebody who's going to protect your purchase. And at this point now, if you're buying from them and you've seen this video, then you know what kind of company they are, and you're still supporting them. So that's on you. All right. And I know I'm going to get tons of feedback, hate mail kind of stuff from people who are Vevor fanboys. There's become this whole group of Vevor fandom because the products are so cheap, and some of them are decent products. All right. But again, they don't make those products. They're just reselling someone else's products. And some of them have killed people. So if you want to support that company, good on you. If you know somebody who uses Vevor products, send them a link to this video because they need to know the truth about this situation. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.